Alice was the most beautiful girl I have ever laid eyes on. She was sweet and kind with confidence that shone brighter than the stars in the night sky. She had the milkiest white skin. Her hair was jet black, with emerald green eyes and natural blood red lips. The day she walked into my life, I knew we were meant to be together forever. It took me months to work up the courage to say hi to her, and when she said hi back, I was hooked. I did everything to make sure she knew how much I loved her. When she was sick, I would watch over her all night to make sure she was alright. I would spend hours just stroking her hair. She loved it. I made sure she started every week with a smile, with a fresh bouquet of flowers sent to where she worked. She was loved, and she loved me back. But then, things began to change. She started becoming withdrawn. She stopped leaving the house, wouldn't go to work. She wasn't going to tell me what was wrong, so I had to find out for myself. It didn't take me long to find out she was getting unwanted calls from a guy claiming to be madly in love with her. He was bombarding her day and night with phone calls, sending her creepy letters, saying if he couldn't have her, no one could. It was my job to keep Alice safe, and I promised her I would protect her, so I decided to stalk her stalker, and it didn't take me long to find out where he lived. He lived in a dingy apartment in a place known as Skid Row. I watched his movements. I watched his obsession grow. It was then I knew I needed to act. I broke into his apartment, knowing he was busy watching Alice. As I looked around his apartment, his obsession was a lot greater than I expected. He had pictures of her all over the place. That night, he came back into his apartment, not knowing I was lurking in the shadows. Watching Alice must be tiring work, I thought to myself, as he passed out on his bed. I crept out from the shadows. I stood over him, as his chest heaved in and out. I picked up a pillow and placed it over his head. By the time he knew what was happening, it was already too late, as he struggled for air, and before I knew it, his body went limp. It didn't take long for Alice to get her life back on track. She was back to her bubbly, happy self again. As I watched over her as she slept, I couldn't help but think, did she know how lucky she was? I stroked her hair as I leaned in to whisper in her ear, "Soon, my love, you will finally notice me and realize how much I love you."